Welcome to another episode of last week's Comics Today. It's a decent size, not really small, not large week of comics, but let's get straight into it. And we're going to start with Berserker. I don't remember when issue 9 came out, but it feels like it's been a while. And the solicits for December just came out, and that's when issue 11 is coming out. So there is definitely a gap. I'm going to say that the people trade waiting or the back the Kickstarter and are just going to get the full collection there are going to have a better reading experience than those that are trying to read it monthly. But there is a slight issue with me, he looks like Deadpool now, with trying to remember what happened from I don't know how many weeks, months ago. But what's-her-face Doctor here did something, and I remember that he was kind of blue and floating in space for a lot of last issue, and he's back now, not dead, as you can see there, and the doctors are still trying to basically extract the immortality out of him to figure out how to make him useful to others. And this goes a little bit deeper into his background. It's I don't know, this whole thing, it's a 12-issue series, right? And I feel like the whole thing could have been done in 8, let's say, if you just cut out a bunch of the fluff. So I don't know. And I've said this before, and I'm still getting it. I'm seeing how it ends, and I've already backed the Kickstarter, so my money is spent. And if I can talk anyone out of reading it, maybe my job will be a success. But I'm saying that this doesn't really live up to all of the hype it has received, and yet I'm continuing to buy it because that's my decision. It's okay, ultimately. It's not great, it's not terrible, it's just dragging on, and it's dragging even in the sense that it's now months between issues. So the story itself is dragging, and the production is dragging out. So I don't know. I'm saying wait for issue 12, read some reviews, and then decide if you want to read the whole thing, because this it's tough. It's sort of like a Jeff Johns book. It's not going to ship on time, and you don't know whether or not it's going to be good until it's already over. In stark contrast to everything I just said, we have Barbaric issue 2. This is the Axe to Grind mini-series, and this is phenomenal. I love everything about this book. The writing, the art, and the writer was just doing a signing at my comic shop, which I missed because I have a dumb day job, and I can't go out in the middle of a Wednesday to a comic signing, although I wish I had. He seems like a great guy, and I'm sorry that I missed him. But this is great. It is violent, it's funny, and I hear that there's another miniseries coming soon on the heels of this. I believe this is a 3-issue, yeah, so I don't want to show that, but to be concluded. So the first series was 3 issues, this is 3 issues. There was a one-shot in the middle. There is a hardcover collection of the first series. I'm certain there will be a hardcover collection of this shortly after the conclusion, but it's fantastic. It's probably getting pick of the week. I don't know, no spoilers yet, but it is really good. Up next we have World's Finest issue 7, and I think ultimately I'm starting to question whether or not I like Wade as a writer. So it's pretty good. World's Finest ultimately is pretty good. It's fairly enjoyable. Part of that is more... Who's drawing this? Hang on. Who? Huh. So, it has Dan Moore's name here as the artist, but on here it says Moore. That's weird. DC, get your shit together. Anyway, there's a problem that I have had long-term with the travel time of Superman, Batman, and the Flash as well, and it's a bit of a flip. But Superman and Flash absolutely do things faster than the speed of light than they could possibly do. And that doesn't include the times when they are intentionally time traveling. They just say that they're doing something, and there is no possible way, if you think about it even remotely, that they can get the things done in the time that they say that they're going to do it. Batman needs to find that there's a problem, jump in a plane, and then fly wherever he's going at whatever speed he's capable of. But ultimately, Superman can get anywhere he needs far faster than Batman, and yet in this, they arrive at the same place at the same time, and it's always a problem for me. I don't get it. And I guess it's one of those things you're just not supposed to think about, but I do. I can't help it, and it irritates me every time. Like, just build in some travel time. Build in a reason he can't be everywhere all the time. Anyway, this is, as you can see from the cover, the Boy Thunder. Then it's this guy here whose costume is dumb. I'm just going to say that straight from the top. But we get this origin story from him. This was released as preview pages, and it should be very reminiscent if you have read anything practically. But you can see what's going on there. And then Batman and Superman find him. There are some great moments in here, and I really like this version of Robin. I'm gonna spoil the ending. We're deep enough into this now that I don't know, I think you know my opinion. But if you don't want to be spoiled, then skip to the next chapter. This is how the book ends. And I wonder what time period this book takes place in. It seems to be in the past, but I don't know, kind of seems to be timeless. I don't think it's necessarily in continuity. I don't know. I question whether or not I like Wade as a writer, or if I ever have. I don't know. But between this especially, well, this is where the idea started. And then this bit of terrible. Issue 1 came out a few weeks ago, and it was awful. And I read the 8-page bad idea preview whatever thing that was in previews last month, and that was awful. I could not finish it, and that was written by Mark Waid, and I'm just like, did I ever like this guy? I don't know. I think I need to go back to Superman Birthright, which I remember enjoying, but that would have been 15 plus years ago. So I don't know. I really have no idea. It's World's Finest is really not that fine, ultimately. However, again, and I swear I did not plan this to be flipping back and forth between good and terrible. But once again, we have Lonesome Hunters, and this is a fantastic read. I have one problem with that, and that is that this didn't conclude, which is really pretty minor. But this was billed as a 4-issue series. There is a collection coming in December. I think it's solicited in December. It's in the solicits that just came out, which are for December, but I think the book's actually coming out in February. But it ends with to be continued. And I'm like, what? First, thank you. This series is great, and I wanted more. But every indication up until this point has been that this was a 4-issue miniseries. And I expected some kind of conclusion. I get a conclusion to an aspect of it, and then, like an after-credits scene, they say, oh, there's one more thing we should go do. And I'm like, that's nice, but it's not what I was expecting. It's ultimately a good thing. It is irritating, however, and I wish every comic publisher put out how many issues a series was intended to be. Call it an ongoing. If it's a miniseries, if it's a limited series of any sort, tell me how many issues are expected. That number can change later. I don't care. But just tell me from the outside what I'm signing up for. right? Like, movies, TV have a runtime. You know going into it, this is how long I'm going to invest in this thing. For some reason, comics can't get their shit together. However, it's still great. I still love it. I will get, whenever this continues, I will get more issues. There is a phenomenal scene in this, and it's a girl arguing with an old man in the middle of a street, and it's so good. It's so incredibly good. I love it. Get the collection. Wait for the ultimate collection that's coming probably next year at some point. But this is good. I do recommend it. It's just, I'm irritated. And yet, I'm happy it's continuing. So, I don't know. It's good though. Public Domain issue 4. This is great. I still love Zdarsky's work. Just for some reason, not his Daredevil. A deal was struck last issue between the artistic creator and the corporation. The sons found out about it, really the whole family found out about it, but this guy, who had been our sort of de facto main character up until this point, is not happy with the results. And this is his brother, one of the other sons, and a lot stems from that. So there is some fallout. There's probably an overreaction. There's certainly disappointment. It's all great. It's phenomenal. It's dramatic. There is, it feels real. I understand all of the character perspectives. It's well told, all sides, and it's just really good. And the art, as always, from Zdarsky is phenomenal. You see their face getting smashed in a window. It's great. I recommend this for basically everyone. I don't recall this being heavy on swears. It's not like Sex Criminal, but teen plus. Anyone watching PG-13 stuff, I would say could read this, and without any problems. It's great. Highly recommended. Iron Cat issue 4. This is a lot of issue 4s in a row, but we've still got Felicia and Tony trying to deal with their ex-girlfriends, really. So one of them is an AI, and the other one is in one of Tony's other suits. And there is a team up against a common enemy. And it's this is really a chase issue, so I think this is concluding next issue. I think this was a 5-issue miniseries because Marvel told us at the outset how many issues it was going to be. What a novel idea. But as I said, it's mostly a chase. You see a lot of armor versus armor in this. There is a crime element, so of course there is a twist that you maybe not see coming. And it should wrap up next issue, and I am enjoying this, and I'm enjoying everything, really, that McKay has been doing with Felicia. There is another mini-series, I want to say, no, I'm confused, with Felicia and Mary Jane coming up. I'm 90% certain that's on my pull list. If it's not, I'm going to add it, because the one-shot that he did months ago was great, and I think I'm saying great too many times again, but it is just really fun comics. And if you want some fun in your comics, in your superheroes specifically, then pick it up. Shaolin Cowboy issue 5. I'm gonna spoil something from last issue. I mentioned that he got a job last issue, which was mind-blowing. It was insane to see that. Oh, I should mention too, this is the Fabio Moon variant cover. I love Fabio Moon and Gabriel Ba, and when I saw this pop up as a possibility, I had to get this, and I do love this cover. It's brilliant. Anyway, so Shaolin Cowboy got a job last issue. He was crashing kind of at the apartment, the home of a family of Komodo dragons. Just roll with it. Don't try to understand it. And that family was blown up. So he is here seeking revenge trying to find the people responsible, and it's so amazing. I am blown away every time I open one of these issues by Darrow's art. It is so intricate. There is so many things going on. I stare at these pages in awe of everything that he squeezes in, and I love all of it. So this is intense violence, and there's a page here a couple of days ago. Darrow, I follow him on Facebook, and he was talking about, because the issue had come out, he was talking about some of his favorite pages, and this, he says, is his favorite because of the hand symbol that's being shot, and that hand symbol is all over this issue. I mean, it's on billboards, it's on signs, all over the background. There's a character whose hands are permanently, seemingly, in that pose, and he said that because Shaolin Cowboy was shooting it right through the hand, it was his favorite. But I mean, you can see symbolism all over the place, and he's just murdering people for pages on end, and it is glorious. But Jeff Darrow's not a fan of that hand symbol or what it represents, and he destroys it throughout this issue. It is, I already said glorious, but it's beautiful to behold. It is disgusting, I will say, and beautiful. I love it. Finally, I think, yes. We have DCeased issue 2. This is what should be the end of the DCeased line from Tom Taylor. Supposedly, I think DC will look for a way down the line to continue it. But anyway, this is supposed to be the final. And this cover is a little bit of a lie. This doesn't really happen. And does anyone else think this looks like Wolverine? Is that just me? Is that some fourth world guy? I don't know. Anyway, I wasn't the biggest fan of the art of issue 1. I don't know what the problem was, but the art, I feel, is better in issue 2. And this is how it starts, with Barda and Miracle looking for their kid and not finding him. And I yelled twice during this, and I think it's been a while since I've yelled, but there was a definite oh no and then an oh shit at the end of this, and I'm not going to spoil that. I will probably spoil it next issue unless one of the upcoming covers has already spoiled it, but I'm not going to do that to you yet. But ultimately, Darkseid's rampage through the universe, zombifying everything everywhere, is continuing. The heroes are vaguely aware what's coming, but I'm going to say that they are unprepared for what is coming, and it is so good. I've loved the DCeased universe up until this point, and it continues, and I will most likely be getting the hardcover collection of this. Oh, I forgot about it. There is, let me hold on just a second. Okay, so there is a brilliant sequence of Guy Gardner in here. It's Guy Gardner, Superman, and Brainiac, and this is a Guy Gardner that Dan bought me years ago, and he's been on my desk ever since. But we had a mutual dislike for Guy Gardner. He's basically the butt of many jokes, and he got me this thing, and it sits on my desk, as I said, as a reminder. And at some point I started to like Guy Gardner, and I think it was New 52. He did some good things, and ever since, I find the enjoyment in Guy Gardner. And there is, I think it's 3 pages, but in the middle of this, as I said, Guy Gardner, Brainiac, and Superman, and it's so funny. It's flat out amazing. Like, he's just talking so much shit. It's so good. The art's great. As I said, it's better, I think, than issue 1 somehow. But the art's good, the story's phenomenal, and highly recommended. As I said, I am most likely in for the hardcover collection of this already. So that is everything that I got this week, and there's a lot of good in here. As far as picking a pick of the week, it's not Berserker. It might be Barbaric. It's not World's Finest. Maybe Lonesome Hunters. Maybe Public Domain. Maybe Shaolin Cowboy. I don't know. I don't know. I will give it ultimately to... I'm going Lonesome Hunters, which surprises even me a bit, given everything that I said when I was talking about this. But... I mentioned the scene on the street where she's yelling at him on the street, and it's just like she slams on the brakes in the car, and there's a big emotional scene, and it's after there's a big action sequence, and like the big emotional highway scene is more impactful than the big action scene. It's just so well done, and really I want more people to read this. I don't think that they are, and I wish that they were, because I think this deserves attention, it deserves people talking about it, and for that it is my pick of the week. So that is everything that I got this week. As always, I get all of my books from a local comic shop. If you don't know where yours is, come on, guy. You gonna do me like that? If you don't know where yours is, you can use this URL to find the one closest to you. Thanks for watching.